We were also asked to find the median of the test scores, of Sarah's test scores. In order to do that, I listed all of the values from least to greatest, because you have to order them first. And now I'm going to take one from the front of the data set, one from the back, one from the front, one from the back, etc. until I get to the middle. In this case, you're going to end up having two values in the middle, so you're going to have to average those out. So the median would be 79. Question 4. The heights in inches of 10 high school varsity basketball players are 78, 79, 79, 72, 75, 71, 74, 74, 83, and 71. We'd like to know the interquartile range, which would be the quartile 3 score minus the quartile 1 score. What we could do is utilize the stat menu on our calculator. Clear whatever list you have there, and then in list 1 I'm going to enter all those data values. 78, 79, 79, 72, 75, 71, 74, 74, 83, 71. Once you enter all the scores, you can go back to Stat and go over to Calc, and then one var Stats. Choose list 1, second 1 can give you L1, and now you get all these values. You're going to have to scroll down, and we can find the quartile 1 score, which is 72, and the quartile 3 score, which is 79. 79 minus the quartile 1 score of 72 means that this has an interquartile range of 7. It's important to realize how the range is different than the interquartile range. Question 5. Mr. Taylor raised all his students' scores on a recent test by 5 points. How would this affect the mean and the range? So the mean would be the average. So of course, if the teacher chooses to add 5 points to each score, that would bring the average up, and it would increase it by 5. So the mean is going to definitely increase by 5. Choice 3 and 4 are out, because those say that the mean would stay the same. That's not the case. However, the range is the max minus the min. That's going to stay constant. That's going to remain the same. So the mean is going to increase by 5, but the range will remain the same. Question 6. They'd like us to determine the mean or the average of the scores to the nearest tenth. They also would like us to determine the median of the student scores and describe the effect on the mean and the median if the teacher decided to add 5 bonus points to each of the scores. Alright, so first we're going to find the mean, or the average. We could, of course, use our calculator also for this. In the beginning of the video, I also showed you how to do by hand. We're going to have to just trade out the data, though. So now we want to enter these scores. Okay, and then go back to Stat Calc. One var Stats, choose the list 1 where the data is. And the mean would be the, remember how the mean is the X with the bar on top? So for my work, even though I used the calculator, I would show how I knew that that was the value. And then I'm going to round it to the nearest tenth. So this is going to be 81.3. The 3 in the hundredth spot would keep the 10th spot of 3. So that is to the nearest tenth. I'd also like to scroll down further to find the median, which is MED. And the median of this data set is 80. Another thing that you could do by hand. You would have to order these test scores and then find the middle, which is going to be 80. The next question is interesting. It says describe what would happen to the mean and the median if the teacher decided to add 5 points on. So I'm going to actually do that to each of these scores. So I'm going to decide to add 5 points bonus. That's going to bring up Andrew's score to be 77. It's going to bring John's up to be at 85. It's going to bring George's score up to be a 90. It's going to bring Amber's score to be a 98. It's going to bring Betty's score to be 83. And it will bring Roberto's score up to 85. And so I already know the mean and the median for the original data set. So now I'm going to find the mean after the bonus. And I'm also going to find the median after the bonus. So go back to your stat menu and hit edit. And let's go over to list 2. List 2 is where I'm going to choose to enter the scores that are after the 5 points. 77, 85, 90, 98, 83, 85. And now I'm going to go to stat, I'm going to go to calc, I'm going to go to one of our stats again, but I'm now going to choose the next list 2. So I'm going to do second 2 to be list 2. Very important that you put list 2 because that's where your data is for after the bonus. And now you're going to see how the mean is 86.3. The mean is 86.3, so it did go up by 5 points. And the median, we're going to scroll down to find the median. The median would be an 85. The median also increased by 5 points. So we would write down adding 5 points to each score would increase the mean by 5 points and also the median by 5. And I have my work to support that. I have my work from before the bonus and then after the bonus, and I clearly indicated that. In number 7, you're asked to find the mean of the following data, and this is a frequency table. So that tells me that the number 25 is used 3 times, so I'm going to list it 3 times. The number 20 is used twice, I'm going to list it twice then. The number 11 is used 5 times, I'm going to list it 5 times. And the number 10 is listed 4 times. My total frequency would be all these sums of the frequency. That's known as your cumulative frequency. That tells you how many scores you should have listed. 5, 10, 14 scores should be listed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 scores. We'd like to know the mean. And we could do this on our calculator by entering those scores. Now I'm going to go back to the stat menu and edit. I'm going to delete all my data in list 1 and 2. You would really be using the list 1 and 2 features if you're doing a comparison like the previous question. Now we just need list 1. I'm going to list all these data values here. I'm going to put 25 3 times. Then I'm going to put 22 times. Then I'm going to put 11 5 times. And then I'm going to list 10 4 times, since that was that frequency. Go to Stat Calc, enter the list 1, that's where the data is, and your median would be X with the bar on top, so your median is, your mean rather, is X with the bar on top, so that's 15. Choice 3.